On today's show, we'll tell you what Les Miles has to say about the football team's first bye week of the 2013 season.
Plus, resident analyst Josh Nix and KLSU's own Joey Giglio stop by the set to preview the NBA season.
So get on the edge of your seat and put on your rally cap because it's the bottom of the ninth and it starts right now. Welcome to this week's edition of the Bottom of the Ninth. I'm Alex Cheney.
And I'm Patrick Clay. Thanks for tuning in. Alex, it's been a while. It's been 2 weeks.
It has been, but
3 weeks since we've been in the studio.
Dude, it's Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, bro.
It's great.
You planning on getting a lot of candy tonight?
Yeah. I love me some free candy, but it just can't be fun size.
Why not fun size?
Because that's less candy. What's fun about less candy?
I mean, it's fun because it's small.
You know what is fun?
What?
The men's basketball team receiving 6 votes in the AP preseason poll for the first time since 2008.
Wow, 6?
Yeah.
So like the number one team, like Kentucky, has like what, 7?
If we were ranked, we would be 38th right now.
All right.
Hey, votes are votes.
Kicking things off, the LSU Women's Basketball team opened exhibition play last night against Tennessee Temple. Monica Resch reports from the PMAC.
The Lady Tigers kicked off their season Wednesday night in an exhibition game against Tennessee Temple. In their first appearance at the PMAC, freshmen Regine Moncrief, Rena Hill, and Jasmine Rhodes helped lead the Lady Tigers to a 95-24 victory. Moncrief led the Lady Tigers with 24 points, 9 steals, and 3 assists. After the game, Hill discussed how there is still room for improvement, but the team feels they are off to a good start this season.
We still have points to improve on, but we did something good on the court. So I think if we can get that out every time, it's going to be a pretty good season.
The Lady Tigers will host another exhibition game on Saturday against Mississippi College. Tip-off is at 2 o'clock.
The Lady Tigers played without senior guard Jean Kenny due to concussion-like symptoms.
Earlier today, I had the pleasure of sitting down with none other than the head coach of LSU Football, Les Miles, and we got to talk to him about several topics surrounding the team. Take a listen to what he had to say about his team as they go through their first bye week of this season. LSU Football's on a bye week. I'm sure some much-needed rest after 9 straight weeks of football. Just going into a bye week, talk about what your team's mentality is for an off week.
Well, it's a right thing. We really are not too ambitious. We don't want to get all of the game plan in for the Alabama game. What we're looking to do is get health, rehabilitate our bodies, refreshen ourselves, get our legs right. Those guys that have nicks and knacks that are need some time off, they get it. And these practices are not as physically demanding as some that we'll have next week. But we'll do some self-scout. We want to find out what the opponent sees when we line up against them. And of course, we'll study our opponent.
I'd imagine that a bye week also this late in the season is a great time for you to examine your development over the course of the year with this team. Can you talk about how this team has progressed going?
Well, you really, every offense, defense, and special teams as a unit. And you have every position group, which would be like the offensive line, defensive line, secondary, running backs. Within that, there's development. And individually, those guys that, like a guy like Mettenberger at the quarterback spot, how's he coming? And what you try to do is tailor some of your individual periods and tailor some of your presentations in teaching to the development of your room as an assistant coach and as a coordinator.
Just wanted to give a quick thank you to Alex, Miss Cindy, our station advisor, and Johnny Lombardi for working the cameras for that interview. We'll have the full interview online tomorrow at tigertv.tv.
Coming up, we bring on Josh Nix and KLSU's Joey Giglio on set to talk some NBA basketball.
We'll be right back.
I'm Odell Beckham Jr., and you're watching Sports Showtime on Tiger TV.
Welcome back to the show. And now I'd like to bring on Sports Showtime reporter Josh Nix and our very special guest to the set, Joey Giglio from LSU Sports. Thanks for coming on, guys.
No problem.
As hopefully all of you know by now, the NBA season started Tuesday night. I know about you guys, I'm really excited about it. Joey, we're going to start with you. What team, in your opinion, has the best chance to take home the title this year?
I like the Indiana Pacers this year. I think they got a very complete ball club. I think they have one of the best players in the NBA in Paul George. I also think they have one of the best big men in the game as well in Roy Hibbert. And I think the two of them combining forces, I think they're going to be a pretty tough challenge for the Miami Heat.
What about Paul George? What about him? What do you think he brings to this team that is unique?
Well, if you watched the game last night against the New Orleans Pelicans, quite frankly, he makes a lot of shots that a lot of guys can't make. You saw last night him hit a lot of shots with a hand in his face. And I think he's a very, very special talent. And I think really in the East, he's the biggest contender to LeBron James.
Pacers, I think, really going to do good
He's
things.
a great perimeter defender, too. And if you're going to beat Miami, you got to have somebody out on the perimeter that can at least handle LeBron a little bit. Paul George is personally my defensive player of the year. So I think that's why I like Indiana to actually make the finals, but I'll reveal who I'm going to
So your team, do they have a great perimeter defender?
Yes, they do. They very much do. The San Antonio Spurs are my pick to win the NBA championship this year. They were so close last year, 30 seconds away. They just had to make a few free throws, and they would have taken down the Miami Heat. This year, the team's pretty much the same. They did lose Gary Neal, but they still have great three-point shooting. Danny Green's one of the best three-point shooters in the league. Tony Parker runs that offense perfectly. Lateral passing is always great, always smooth. The team has great chemistry. Duncan's still a dominant player despite his age. And Kawhi Leonard, one of the most underrated, underappreciated players in this league. I love what that guy does at the three. He's one of the best defenders in the NBA. He's a great three-point shooter. He's got that corner three down. Popovich, best coach in the NBA, even though he made a little mistake at the end of Game 6 last year, keeping Duncan in, not having Duncan in at the last possession to get that rebound when Ray Allen hit the three. But at the end of the day, I like the Spurs to come back. I like the Pacers to make the finals, but I think the Spurs are a more experienced team. I think they're a good matchup bad matchup for the Indiana Pacers. I think they take it home this year.
One thing you always say about the Spurs, you can never count them out. Moving on to teams that maybe are a little bit more under the radar. You know, they made some offseason acquisitions that really kind of started to put them into the limelight. To you, what is a dark horse team that you think can come in and win the title?
Well, I think that the Golden State Warriors, with the addition of Andre Iguodala, I think they're a terrific team. Iguodala just gives them that much more depth, and they have one of the most exciting players in the NBA in Seth Curry. The man just shoots light out. Last year, he set the record for highest three-point field goal percentage in a single season. And he's a very selfless player at the same time. He hits the open man. And I think that team has very good continuity. They made some noise last year in the playoffs. And I can certainly see them building off of that into this season. They also have David Lee, who is a valuable asset, a terrific NBA veteran. And I think they can really, really grow off of last year's momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. Warriors are looking like a really quality team this year, especially after they just beat down the Lakers last night.
Exactly.
Josh, who you picking?
I'm going with the Houston Rockets. The thing with the Rockets is I'm not sure if they're necessarily a dark horse. They're kind of in between. But anyway, the Houston Rockets, obviously they signed Dwight Howard as one of the biggest moves of the offseason. But we're going to see how the combination of Harden and Howard, see what chemistry they create. But really, this team has potential to be like the 09 Orlando Magic, except they have an elite playmaker and scorer on the perimeter in Harden. I also think this team is a candidate to make another trade. I know some people think Morey's already done a lot, but they do have some assets. Jeremy Lin's contract, Omer Asik. I've heard Omer Asik for Ryan Anderson might be in the talks. That'd be a great move for Houston. Great move for both teams, actually. But Houston's got a lot of three-point shooting. They're a great young team, and Harden is a legit player. He's definitely a top 10 player in this league. I think he's at least a top 5 MVP candidate. And I think Houston, if things go their way, OKC, Westbrook never gets it right, San Antonio gets some injuries, Ginobili's not quite the same this year. Houston could sneak into the finals and, maybe give Miami a little trouble. Miami has no bigs to defend Howard, so we'll see how that turns out.
Well, hey, guys, both great points. It's going to be a great season. Love to see how it turns out. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the show, and we got our Halloween costumes.
Oh, yeah.
But speaking of costumes, Alex, I think I found the scariest one for Halloween this year.
What's that, Patrick?
Pierre the Pelican. Look at this thing. The New Orleans Pelicans unveiled their mascot last night, and the internet just had a field day with it. Let's see what we got. First one up is the, oh my gosh,
Ooh,
Pierre the Pelican
scary.
from The Ring. Oh, spooky. All right, next we have, oh man.
What
I think
movie was
The
that?
Shining?
I think so.
Oh man, I See Dead People. Other movie.
Alien.
Oh,
Classic.
Pierre the Pelican should not be coming out of anyone's body. That is, oh man, that is creepy. So kids, nothing is going to be scarier than the Pierre the Pelican. I'm a Pelicans fan. I can't even
You
support
can
that thing.
dream up the craziest Halloween costume you ever could. Will not be as scary as Pierre the Pelican.
Pierre the Pelican wins or loses, I guess in this case.
I mean, I think it's a win. At least it's getting people talking about the Pelicans.
All right, well that's all for our show today.
Thanks for tuning in to the bottom of the ninth on Tiger TV Sports Showtime. You can watch highlights and full episodes online at tigertv.tv.
Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter for the latest news. We're here on Campus Channel 75 Monday through Thursday from 6 to 6:15.
For Patrick Clay, I'm Alex Chaney. Thank you for watching the bottom of the ninth. Have a great and safe Halloween, and you stay classy, Baton Rouge.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.